Hi everybody. This is Unit 6, gerunds and infinitives, and I'm just doing a homework review on some of the more confusing or difficult homework exercises from lessons 1 and 2. So we're going to start off with exercise 9 on page 150. It says here to read the sentences about healthy habits that help you to live longer and rewrite the sentences with gerunds. Use by when necessary. So you may add 6 years to your life if you don't smoke. So here we change the subject to not smoking. Not smoking may add 6 years to your life. You should lift weights. It could add 5 or 6 years to your life. So here, doing this action, lifting weights, could add 5 to 6 years to your life. You could add 5 years to your life if you eat fruits and vegetables. You could add 5 years to your life by eating fruits and vegetables. Maybe you also wrote another alternative because these are not the only correct answers. Eating fruits and vegetables could add 5 years to your life. You should get enough sleep. It may add 3 years to your life. Getting enough sleep may add 3 years to your life. You could add 2 years to your life if you walk every day. You could add 2 years to your life by walking every day. You also maybe wrote walking every day could add 2 years to your life. Good things to remember, huh? So remember, there are a couple of different ways to do these, but the most important thing is that you write the healthy habits in gerund form. So let's look at exercise 10 on page 151. So here there were some errors with gerunds. Here's the first one. Today there are many products that can help us succeed in reaching our dietary and fitness goals. So after succeed in, we need a gerund, reaching. Are you tired of spending time searching for healthy recipes? So tired of should be followed by a gerund, spending. Spending time, after expressions with time, we often use gerunds, so spending time searching. Apps can put the fun back into eating well, so expressions that use the word fun also many times use a gerund. Also remember, into is also a preposition, so after a preposition we use a gerund. Let's see, if you are a runner, perhaps improving your speed is your goal. So this is kind of like a subject of the main clause. Improving your speed is a gerund phrase. Let's see, the next one. It will prevent you from overdoing your workout. So prevent you, after prevent you from overdoing your workout. Good. Okay, what else do we have here? I think this is the last one. Try these different products. You will have no excuse for being not able to stay fit. So remember, before the gerund or before the infinitive, we should have the not when we are a negative. So the not comes before the gerund or the infinitive for not being able to stay fit. All right, so that was exercise 10. Let's go on to page 155. 155. And whoops, I didn't need to go quite that far. And we are going to take a look at exercise 5. Exercise 5 on page 155. So here it says, complete a healthcare worker statement. Use the words given. Use the infinitive form once in each sentence. So here I've written, I would like my patients to follow their doctor's orders. I advise everyone to stop smoking. We encourage our patients to exercise every day. We advise them to avoid certain foods. Older people need to be careful about their diet. I urge our patients not to worry. So remember, the not and the negative comes before the infinitive form, just like with the gerunds. I remind people not to lose their sense of humor, another negative. And let's take a look at exercise 6 now. So remember, we learned that sometimes there are verbs that can be followed by both a gerund or infinitive, and they don't have a change in meaning. You can use either one. And so let's take a look at exercise 6. It says change the gerunds to infinitives in sentences 1 through 4 and infinitives to gerunds in sentences 5 through 6. So, and we had to remember this pattern. It says you can use prefer, for example, or one of these other verbs to compare two activities in the following ways. So we use prefer with a gerund to another gerund. But if we use it with infinitive, we have to use rather than. Prefer infinitive rather than verb. I prefer to swim rather than run. So notice no to here after than. So number 2, I prefer using becomes I prefer to use medicinal plants rather than take medicine. No to, rather than take medicine. And number 3, I like getting phone calls from my friends when I'm sick. No prefer here, so we don't need to worry about the rather than. I like to get phone calls from my friends. I like to get phone calls from my friends when I'm sick. That one was easy, just changing getting to get. To get. And when I feel ill, I start looking up my symptoms on the internet. Sometimes that can be bad. When I feel ill, I start to look up. And then here we're changing the infinitives to gerunds for the remainder. I begin worrying right away when, so to worry becomes worrying. I prefer, so here's where we need to worry about using this construction here. I prefer waiting to going to the doctor. So no rather than when we are using a gerund. I don't bother to tell anyone when I don't feel well. I don't bother telling anyone when. I hate to sit in the waiting room at the doctor's office. I hate sitting in the waiting room. So that was that exercise. Now let's take a look at this one. This is exercise 6 now. So remember, there are some verbs that can be followed by both a gerund or infinitive, but they have a change in meaning. So for example, when we use, and those verbs that you need to learn for the test are stop, remember, and forget. When we use stop plus a gerund, means a person or thing ended an activity. He stopped drinking coffee a year ago, so he no longer drinks coffee. But we use stop plus an infinitive to tell the reason why a person or animal stopped. Infinitive gives the reason. It was a long drive, we only stopped to eat lunch. So tells the reason why we stopped. Why did we stop? To eat lunch. Now, that was stop. What about remember? So we use remember plus a gerund to talk about a memory or something in the past. I remember calling last week, but I don't remember what day it was. So memory in the past. Remember plus an infinitive means you remember to do a necessary task. He never remembers to call. So that's remember. Now we have forget. Forget plus a gerund. Talk about a memory. Used with a negative sometimes. I'll never forget hiking to the top of that mountain. Forget plus an infinitive means that someone didn't remember to do a necessary action. He often forgets to do his homework. Did you forget to pay the rent? So let's take a look at the exercise. We already did 6, excuse me, so now we're on 7. We're going to do 2 more quickly here. So let's see. So this is a story about Nina Garfield was on a ski trip and there's an avalanche, so a bunch of snow fell. So all of a sudden, the snow started moving underneath her. Nina remembers falling. So here she's talking about a past memory. Luckily, snow didn't bury her, what saved Nina's life. When she was packing, she remembered to put airbags into her backpack. So remember to do this necessary action. Remember when the avalanche began, the airbags opened and helped Nina keep her head above the snow. She says she'll never forget to bring airbags with her on her ski trips. So again, she'll never forget. She won't forget to do this necessary action in the future. Okay, so K2, highest mountain in the world, and Juan Ramos was climbing it. Says here he was close to the top. He stopped to admire the view. So he was hiking and then he stopped. He was walking and he stopped, and the reason was to admire the view. So we use an infinitive here. He began his return trip down to the camp. However, it began to snow hard, so he had to stop moving because he couldn't see. So he ended this activity. He stopped moving. He stopped walking. He didn't stop to move, right? That doesn't make sense. He stayed on the mountain for 2 freezing stormy nights before the weather cleared. Fortunately, he had not forgotten to bring a lot of water with him, right? So he didn't forget to do this necessary action. Ramos says he'll never forget feeling such fear. So he has this memory that he had this feeling. Now let's take a look at exercise 8, last one. So for here, you had to read each statement, complete the sentence. So that is similar in meaning to the statement, but use infinitives. So my grandfather thinks I should take a walk by the sea, says James. So after want, we need to use an infinitive. James's grandfather wants James to take a walk by the sea. Number 3, I don't like to take medicine. I think drinking hot milk is much better. Susanna. Susanna prefers. So with prefer, you can use both gerund and infinitive, and there is no change in meaning. Prefers drinking hot milk to taking medicine, or you could say prefers to drink hot milk rather than take medicine. Number 4, make sure you rub plant oil on your back, says Lee's mom. Lee's mom reminded him. So remind is one of those verbs that we use first with an object and then with an infinitive. Reminded him, so there's the object, to rub, infinitive, plant oil on his back. My parents say that I can't drink coffee or soda. So with allow, we use an object, which is a noun or a pronoun, and then infinitive. Lisa's parents don't allow Lisa to drink coffee or soda. My mother can make noodle soup that cures colds. Sang. And then we see Sang's mother knows how. With know how, we use an infinitive. Knows how to make noodle soup. I still have a cold, so I need to keep resting as much as possible. Felipe. Felipe should continue. With continue, we can use both gerund and infinitive with same meaning. Should continue to rest or should continue resting. My mother says adding garlic to my soup will cure anything. Oscar. Oscar's mother reminded him. After remind, we are supposed to use an object, noun or pronoun, and then infinitive. Oscar's mother reminded him to add garlic to his soup. So that is my review for the difficult homework exercises in lessons 1 and 2 in Unit 6. Hope that helped you.